So, hello, my name is Rosemary, and today I do not have tea in my cup. I'm actually drinking a supplement drink, vitamin drink. The first thing I would like to share about this pregnancy journey is I have not been wanting tea. And for those who have been watching me or following me or know me personally, you know that I love hot tea. That's my thing. But throughout this pregnancy, I don't want hot tea. I had hot tea a couple of times, a handful of times, and I'm like 5 months along at this point, and it's just not doing what it usually does for me. I didn't even finish the full cup of tea like I usually would. So I guess that's just not something the baby wants. So it's okay because I've been trying to stay away from caffeine anyway. So where do I begin? I am currently in my second trimester as I create this video. I wanted to recap my first trimester. So I will say that my husband and I were ready to begin a family. So we'd been talking about it for a while and planning for it and discussing it. And we knew that soon we would be gearing up to start our family. And I was excited because this is something I've always wanted. I love working with children. I am a kids yoga and meditation teacher. And before that, I worked as a nanny for many years. So I love working with kids, with children, with babies, with little people. They're just great. They're so fun. They're so pure. And aside from that, I just love children. And I always knew I wanted my own. So, husband and I decided, like, all right, it's time to start, planning for our family. And I was really excited because for a while, I believe I talked about it in my menstrual cup video, because I only did one, tracking my period. So I was pretty in touch with how my cycle worked. I knew when my cycle was, how many days. I was typically pretty regular. So that meant I knew when I was ovulating, or I thought I knew when I was ovulating. You know what I don't like? Okay, I don't like to talk about what I don't like too much, but it's not that I don't like it. I think it's funny when people say baby dance. So, oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. When people say, yeah, so we baby danced. Okay, we made love. Okay. And I knew that I was ovulating. I know that there's peak ovulation, and I know that there's like lower chance of getting pregnant in different areas of when you're ovulating, but you're typically ovulating just one day out of your cycle. So I took a pregnancy test. We did one of the early detection tests, and it should tell you 6 days before your missed period. Took the test, and the test came back negative. And I was bummed because I was like, but I was ovulating. But then I remembered, like, sometimes it just doesn't happen on that first try, so it's okay. Like, don't get discouraged. But I did have my like moment, okay? I did get sad. I was a little, disappointed that it didn't happen right away. But I was very much okay with trying again and again and again because we enjoy that. So I was anticipating my period starting. I started feeling, cramping. I started feeling bloated, a little sleepy. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's right. Period is coming. I can feel it. Like I'm feeling the sensations, not necessarily cramps, but just those sensations that begin right before your period. So I was like, yep. All right, next month is another month. But then that lasted for like a week. And it was weird because my period hadn't come still. I was like, okay, maybe I thought I was ovulating and I wasn't actually ovulating. This means my cycle is not as my period app is not as accurate as I thought it was, and it was lying to me. So I started getting a little frustrated because I was like, I thought I knew when I was ovulating, and obviously I don't. So I ordered one of those like ovulation kits from Amazon, and it has like 50 ovulation sticks in there and like 20 pregnancy sticks, and so that you can track when you're ovulating. So I was like, well, let me start getting, acclimated with how to use this for next month. Um, so I watched a whole bunch of videos on how to use the ovulation kit, how to track ovulation outside of an app. Um, Actually, the the kind that I have, you could get an app that goes along with it, but you can do it outside of the app as well, just tracking it on paper. And that's the route that I was going to go because I was like, this digital stuff, maybe it's not really that great. Maybe I need to go, the route of writing it down. So I was gearing up to, start learning how to do that and implementing it for the next cycle. And waiting for my period still. And my period was just taking a long time to start. I was wondering, like, what was causing it to, like, be so late this month. And I was like, what did I do differently? Did I eat something different? Did I work out differently? Like, what's so different this month that's causing my period to be so late? Like, because usually it'll be, you know, if it's late, it'll be like 2 or 3 days late. So what's going on? And my husband was like, hey, I think you're pregnant. You should take another test. And I was like, but it said negative. I feel like we took two. My husband was like, I think you're pregnant. You should take another test just to see. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'll take one. But because now I'm curious, but I don't really know. But okay, I'll take it. And I took the pregnancy test, and your girl was pregnant. So I I was very confused and excited, but confused because I was like, that's right. We took a few tests. And the few previous tests, that's what it was. The few, how most pregnancy tests come with two in a box. And I feel like we took two, and I think I took a couple more because my period was so late and hadn't started yet. Um, and there was like a 2 week period, I think. Yeah, 2 week span of time had passed and it hadn't come yet. So we took another pregnancy test, and that said negative as well. So I was just so sure that I wasn't. But then my husband was like, I think you should take another one. And I was like, okay, I guess. And I guess it was too early those first couple of times, even though they were early detection tests. So people ask all the time, like, how did you tell your husband that you were pregnant? Like, what's your story on that? And yeah, he told me I was pregnant. So that was a cool way to start things off. Um, so you might see me drinking out of a teacup, a mug, but I'll have you know it's not tea that I'm drinking. No, I have not been wanting tea as much as I love tea. I haven't been wanting my cup of tea, my morning cup of tea. I don't want it. Midday cup of tea, I'm good. No, thank you. I've only been wanting cold beverages, which is so different for me because I typically drink room temperature beverages, unless it's tea. If it's tea, I want it really hot. But like juice and water, like room temp is what I typically drink. But since becoming pregnant, I have not been wanting my hot cup of tea. I've only been wanting cold juice, um, which has been like just so different for me. Um, so I'm currently in my second trimester, and in my first trimester, the first several weeks, I was, just getting used to the idea of being pregnant. Of course, looking at my stomach, and I wasn't showing yet. But then I got to a point where I was like, I'm not bloated. This isn't bloat. This is a little baby bump starting to form. And I thought that was really exciting when I started to notice that, like, I'm not bloated. That's a baby. In the first few weeks, just out of habit, out of routine, um, I'd go out in the kitchen in the morning, I'd turn on the kettle, make my cup of tea, watch my YouTube videos about other ladies and their pregnancy journey, labor and delivery, baby name videos, you name it, I was watching it. If it had anything to do with like pregnancy, that was a part of my morning routine. Making my cup of tea, making breakfast, and watching those kind of videos. And I noticed I wasn't really enjoying drinking the tea. I was not only was I not really enjoying the cup of tea, I wasn't finishing it either. And that was so unlike me. So I was like, maybe I should just lay off the tea. I don't want it. So I'm not gonna have it. And it's not even that I don't want it. I don't think the baby wants it. Um, and I was concerned at first about my caffeine intake because the tea that I drink in the morning, I've been drinking, I've been drinking this kind of tea ever since I can remember. My mom is Jamaican, so we grew up drinking tea every morning. Even if it's warm outside, we're drinking a cup of tea, and I've carried that into adulthood. And I forgot where I was going. What was I saying? Pregnancy brain, that is a thing. Lost my train of thought completely. Oh, I remember. I was concerned because every day I drink black tea. Black tea with lemon and ginger sometimes, but black tea with lemon, brown sugar, or honey, mostly brown sugar, um, or cane sugar, I should say. Sometimes it's brown, sometimes it's not. But that's a caffeinated tea. Black tea is caffeinated, and I know when you're pregnant, you have to watch your caffeine intake. And sometimes I drink just one cup of tea, and then other times I drink 2 cups of tea, just depending on how I'm feeling or what I'm doing. If I'm working on something on my computer, like being productive or doing something where I feel like, ooh, a nice hot cup of tea would be perfect for this activity. So I just wasn't feeling it. I didn't want the tea. I wanted cold juice, grapefruit juice to be exact. And I thought that was so strange because I don't even like grapefruit juice. Grapefruit juice to me is too tangy, too tart, too, it's just too sour. And the fact that I was now craving grapefruit juice was the funniest thing. And cold grapefruit juice every morning. And I thought I was the only one drinking it. Then I realized my husband was drinking it too. And I was like, are you drinking the grapefruit juice too? And he was craving it as well. And what was so funny about that is that craving for cold grapefruit juice every morning, like as soon as the second trimester started, that craving was like, I was over it. I didn't want any more grapefruit juice. I had a cup and I was like, this doesn't taste great anymore. I don't want it. And my husband, same for him. Like, he is over the grapefruit juice. We've moved on to apple juice, and that's been delicious. Sometimes we'll put like cranberry in it as well, and it's delicious. It's so refreshing. And so, anyway, after the baby comes, am I gonna go back to wanting my cup of tea every morning and a couple throughout the day, or am I gonna be like, nah, bring the apple juice? We shall see. We shall see. What other symptoms have I had? I have not experienced what is known as morning sickness, but I was experiencing nausea in the first trimester, and whew, it was intense. So I always felt like, oh goodness, I don't like that feeling, you know? I'm not a fan of, I mean, who is? Who enjoys vomiting? But I would feel like I had to sometimes, but I never did. Um, Most times when I felt that nauseous feeling, uh, I just needed to burp. However, I don't know how to make myself burp. So I started drinking a lot of ginger beer to help me burp, like the carbonation from the ginger beer, and then the ginger to help settle the nausea. Um, by the way, do you say nausea or nausea? I use them both, but right now I'm going to say nausea. So, yes, the ginger in the ginger beer definitely helped, as well as the bubbles helped me to burp and then feel better. And then, I empathize with babies who need to burp and they feel uncomfortable because that discomfort and not being able to burp not feeling comfortable until you burp, like I understand why babies get fussy when they have that feeling, because it's like, make this stop, help me. So that was something that I experienced a lot during the first trimester. I didn't have any food aversions, but my sense of smell did really, like, it kicked up a lot. Like, there were certain smells that I just was not a fan of smelling. So that's that. Um, let's see. I have some questions that a few people online have asked about my pregnancy. Oh, food cravings. I mean, I mentioned the juice. That's not a food craving, but um, for the first trimester, I really didn't want sweets that much. I ate them because I was eating everything, but um, I was eating a lot of grapes. Grapes were like the best thing ever. And just like with juice, I would typically eat grapes at room temperature, but I wanted my grapes to be cold. So sometimes I would even put them in the freezer to get just like really, really cold. Not frozen, but really cold. And it was just really refreshing to eat them so cold. Um, that was my like one thing that was sweet that I really enjoyed. I'm a huge fan of ice cream, but I didn't eat a lot of ice cream during the first trimester. I wanted savory foods. I wanted salty. I wanted rich flavors. Um, yeah, spicy. But I wasn't like really wanting sweet things as much as I am now. Like I made some brownies last night. I actually made brownies and didn't eat any of them, but I will be eating them today. Not all of it, but I'll be eating some today. Ice cream. I'm back on my ice cream. I eat cashew milk ice cream. It's delicious. The brand is So Delicious. That's the name of it. Really good. Um, cookies. I was on a peanut butter cookie kick for a little while. Now I've moved on to like baking chocolate chip cookies. Very good. And even with that, like I'll make these cookies or brownies, and I'm thankful I still have like a limit. I don't just eat and eat and eat until I feel like I'm going to throw up. Although I did this morning eat too fast, and I felt like I was gonna, but thankfully I didn't. Um, anyway, nobody asked about that. What am I doing to keep my immune system up during the panorama? I knew that I wanted to start taking a prenatal vitamin, so I found um, I was researching different ones, and my husband, he's very much into like supplements and vitamins and nutrition and health. So he was helping me to look up different prenatal vitamins that were good, that didn't have like too many like fillers, that didn't have a lot of extra stuff that I didn't need. I wanted what I needed, and that's it. Um, so we ended up finding one at first I was taking. I probably took it twice, and it had folic acid, which is something that we're told that we need during pregnancy for baby's development. But then I looked up the difference between folate and folic acid because I realized I was hearing them interchangeably a lot. And I was like, what's the difference between the two? Because people keep saying, yeah, folate or folic acid, either one. And I'm like, what's the difference? Like, which one is the one that I need? And it turns out folic acid is the synthetic form of folate. So the first one that I had, the first prenatal, it was a prenatal gummy vitamin, and I liked it because gummies. Um, but I stopped taking that one, and I found a prenatal liquid. Found a prenatal liquid that has folate, which is the natural version, the non-synthetic version of folic acid. So yeah, I've been taking that. Probably going to continue taking it once the baby is here because it has a lot of really great ingredients. So it's called Pink Stork prenatal vitamin, and they have a whole line of other vitamins. Let me see what else I have in this list here, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. So in the first trimester, especially the first month of pregnancy, my breasts were so tender. It was uncomfortable. Like I didn't I didn't know they would be that sore, that tender. Um, and surprisingly, wearing a bra actually felt more comfortable than not wearing a bra. So I personally don't like bras with the underwire. So um, yeah, I'll wear a sports bra or just a regular bra with no underwire. And that felt better than not having a bra on. But sometimes just the thought of like putting something on and then touching the bra, I was like, cringing at the thought of it because they were so tender. It was intense. It was intense. I didn't know it was going to be that tender. Um, Very tender. But I've been learning a lot of really interesting things about the woman's body. Like I'm already fascinated with how amazing our bodies are already, but like learning what our bodies do during pregnancy and preparing for baby is just like super fascinating to me. I noticed that hey, we're all girls here, right? If you're a guy watching this, enjoy the info, but um I knew that my breasts would grow. I'm really enjoying this. But I didn't realize that my areolas as well were going to be like growing and getting darker and darker. And I was like, what's this? And I've learned that our bodies do that because when baby is born, the baby doesn't have great eyesight and they need to be able to, they can see dark and light or white and black, really. But dark colors they can see better, of course. So they need to know where to go to get what they need, milk. So yeah, it's just really interesting that like naturally our bodies are like, all right, let's gear up so that we can direct the baby this way. All right, being exhausted. That was one symptom that I knew I knew about. Again, I did not realize the intensity of it. So there would be times that I have a whole to do list. I have things that I want to do, places that I want to be, and my body was like, nah, we're going to take a nap. We're going to take a nap now. So yeah, I just had to give in to the naps, and I love naps. Um, I love naps, so I didn't mind. That I would wake up and like be hungry and ready to eat and just continue with the day. But yeah, naps were essential. I definitely am grateful that I have like a really flexible schedule and I was able to sleep as much as I needed to, especially during the first trimester. And I heard that it comes back around third trimester. But right now, I do have a bit more energy as I'm in my second trimester. I do have more energy. I don't have to take a nap every day, but I still do take those naps a couple times a week. But yeah, the first trimester, like it was rough because sometimes I would have things in mind that I really wanted to do, and um, I couldn't because my body was like, gonna lay down. um, yeah, my body was in desperate need of sleep, and understandably so. So yeah, I'm thankful that I was able to get naps. I Yeah, definitely needed them. And for me, like, so I typically can take like a 15-30 minute nap and be good. Um, I can get up and just like get back to what I have to do. But I was taking like hour plus naps, which I mean, I've taken those before, but it's usually, not multiple times a week, not multiple times a week. So taking those almost every day, like siesta naps, um, I'm glad that I could just listen to my body and lay down. Um, because yeah, growing a baby here, pregnancy dreams. I'm already a person who dreams very vivid dreams. Okay. My dreams have always been very intense, very extra, all over the place. Um, but now, even more so. I will say that a lot of times I do wake up a bit tired, because I do a lot in my dreams. A lot has to be done. I have to fight crime. I fly through the sky. I'm over here saving people. I time travel. Like, there's just a lot. There's so much that goes on in my dreams. And the thing is, I know I'm dreaming. Um, I do sometimes get like jolted out of my sleep because I'm like, oh, that was a dream. But most times while I'm dreaming, I know when I'm dreaming. Um, but there's just so much going on. I've had a lot of very weird dreams, very, I don't want to say disturbing, but like kind of disturbing dreams here and there. Some of them are not fun. Um, like I had one dream where I was in like the 40s. I think I was in the 1940s, and these parents were enlisting their children in the military, and they were being given uniforms, and the kids are putting these uniforms on, and they were big. They were like too big for them because they were little people, like they were kids, and they're being given these uniforms, and they're like, I'm signing up for the military, and their parents are like literally filling out paperwork for them because they couldn't, because they were kids. um, and I'm standing back like, okay, what can I do to save these children, because they can't fight wars, like what? Yeah. And it was all in black and white. I typically dream in color. I dream in color. So it was weird to me that that was in black and white. But that aside, like I do keep track of some of my dreams, not all of them. Um, my husband likes to interpret dreams, so sometimes I'll share them with him and ask him what he thinks, and other times, like I just share it with him and we laugh because they are ridiculous sometimes, like just really odd, and sometimes we just get a good laugh from them because they are really out there at times, and it is entertaining though. I will say my dreams are very entertaining, and if I had a way of recording them, like recording my dreams and then like sharing them so you can see what I'm seeing in these dreams, I think people would pay for that. Like there's some really interesting dreams. One thing I did hear a lady say on a YouTube video was, congratulations, you're pregnant. Now get ready for like a flow of, unsolicited advice, about what you need to do during pregnancy and what you don't need to do and what you should be doing. And because this is going to be your life forever now, like you're going to be told by people who you're not even asking what to do with your body, what not to do while you're pregnant. And it's going to continue as the baby's born. People are going to tell you how to raise your baby, even if you're not asking. And she was like, just get used to it. Like, let it just roll off your back. Take what you need and discard what you don't. And I'm definitely learning that already. I will say, I haven't had too many people give unsolicited advice. And the people who have like chimed in to share anything with me, it's been so useful. It's been like really good information, helpful stuff. The things that people have been sharing with me um, have been beneficial. So I'm grateful. Nobody has like overstepped boundaries or anything like that, thankfully. But I know it'll come. It happens. And it's okay. I'll take what I need and discard what I do not. As with everything in life. And I'm just really excited for the journey. I'm excited. I'm excited to see like what I'll be like as a mom, what the baby is going to be like. Um, I'm really, really, I'm really excited. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed my first trimester video. I'll be back with my second trimester very soon. Um, if you have any questions that you'd like me to answer for one of my upcoming videos, let me know. Send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is simply Rosemary, or you can leave a comment here. Let me know what you would like me to chat about. I'm excited to share more of this journey, and I'm really grateful for this experience, this gift of life. I am so excited. Thank you again for watching, and until next time, guidance, peace, and much love.